If you haven't heard about Ryan Garcia being sued by Devin Haney, you won't want to miss this. So, what exactly is this lawsuit about? Garcia faces serious accusations, including breach of contract, intentionally missing weight, battery, and fraud. To make things even more intriguing, Oscar de la Hoya, the Golden Boy promoter, has also been named in the lawsuit. What could be more fascinating than this?
Obviously, the big news is that we got sued. I think this is the first time it's ever happened in the history of boxing.
It is truly a first in boxing history. Never before has a boxer filed a lawsuit simply because he couldn't accept his loss to an opponent. It's pretty unusual to see something like this happen, but it shows just how upset this fighter was about his defeat. Filing a lawsuit over a loss is definitely something that hasn't been seen in the sport before. But on the other hand, Ryan Garcia using performance-enhancing drugs, PEDs, during a professional fight is also a first in boxing. Fighters are supposed to compete fairly, and using PEDs gives someone an unfair advantage. So, in a way, both fighters are involved in something that's never happened in the sport before. Now, if you're not sure what's going on with this drama, let's break it down. First, we need to look at what was agreed for the fight and what actually happened. The fight was supposed to take place at 140 pounds, but during the match, Garcia shocked everyone by knocking Haney down 3 times. Even though Garcia won the fight with a majority decision, he also got a point taken away during the contest. After the fight, things took a big turn. It was found that Garcia had a banned substance called ostarine in his system. Ostarine is not allowed because it can give a fighter an unfair advantage. Garcia said the substance got into his body by accident, claiming it was from contamination. But even with his explanation, things didn't end there. As a result, the win Garcia thought he had was changed. The match result was switched to a no contest, meaning the fight didn't officially count as a win or loss for either fighter. When Garcia came in more than 3 pounds over the agreed weight, Haney agreed to continue the fight, but charged a big penalty fee. Now, the lawsuit brings this issue back up, saying that Garcia purposely missed weight to trick Haney and get an unfair advantage. Did Garcia plan to come in heavier to be stronger for the fight? If he did, that really made things more difficult for Haney. At the same time, Haney has been expressing his frustration about other matters. He's been using that same angry energy to argue with UK promoter Eddie Hearn about ticketing arrangements for the Riyadh season event in Wembley. Wow, just wow. Haney seems to be juggling a lot of issues right now. And of course, we can't blame him. While Haney has been dealing with his frustrations over ticketing arrangements with UK promoter Eddie Hearn for the Riyadh season event at Wembley, Ryan Garcia has also been busy responding to Haney's legal action. Ryan Garcia is tired of the whole situation and made that clear when he spoke out on social media. Garcia expressed that he's completely over the Haney fight and doesn't want to keep talking about it. He feels like he has nothing left to prove after beating Haney and just wants to move on to bigger and better things. In his post, Garcia said, "I'm so over this Haney fight, but they keep on bothering me and talking about it. I'm ready for bigger things. Leave me alone. I already beat you. Nothing else to prove." Garcia just wants to put the past behind him. But Haney's legal action is keeping the rivalry alive, whether Garcia likes it or not. It looks like Haney is having a hard time accepting that he lost to Garcia. Instead of wanting to fight again and prove himself in the ring, it seems he is more focused on getting revenge through lawsuits. Garcia has been talking a lot about how he believes Haney is using legal action to try to make himself feel better about the defeat. Is Haney scared to face him in another match because he knows he would probably lose again? Garcia thinks so. Now, Garcia feels pretty confident about their last fight. Haney would rather take the easier route of trying to win in court instead of risking another fight. It's a bold move for Haney to go down this path, especially since it seems more likely he could win a lawsuit than a rematch in the ring. In a recent interview, Ryan Garcia spoke up for himself and addressed the accusations that have been made against him. All the claims about him using a banned substance called ostarine are completely false. He pointed out that if the accusations were true, the boxing committee would have punished him more seriously for using the drug. Instead, he was only punished for not getting rid of the supplements he took, which is a very different issue. There is an important difference between actually using a banned substance and simply not being careful with supplements. Well, that is precisely correct. Anyone who misunderstands this difference is either not paying attention to the facts or is just a fan of his rival, Devin Haney.
The committee didn't punish me for supposedly taking oxygen. They said that because I didn't disclose the supplements that I took is why they punished me. So
When it was discovered that Ryan Garcia had tested positive for using a banned substance called Ostarine, he faced some serious consequences. Despite his strong protests and claims of innocence, Garcia decided to accept a 1-year suspension that would go back to the date of the fight. What did it mean for him? It's the worst thing a boxer can experience. He could not participate in any boxing matches during that entire time. He also had to give up his base salary of over $1 million, which is a huge amount of money for any fighter. On top of all this, the majority decision win he had earned in the ring was changed to a no contest, which means it would no longer count as a victory. If you were to ask professional boxers about these consequences, many would agree that they are very serious punishments. A 1-year suspension is a long time for any athlete to be away from the sport they love, and losing such a large sum of money is painful for anyone. Eddie Hearn, a well-known boxing promoter, shared his thoughts on the lawsuit involving Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. He believes this situation is very important for the sport of boxing. Hearn stated that whenever a fighter is caught using drugs, there should be clear legal consequences, and police action might be necessary. He feels that it is essential for the sport to maintain its integrity, and having strict rules is the best way to ensure that all fighters are playing fairly. During an interview, Hearn explained how this case could change things in boxing. It's really interesting. This could be a really pivotal moment for boxing, because people have said in the past that when a fighter fails a drug test and goes through with the fight, should there be legal action or a police action against that fighter, said Hearn. Hearn also mentioned that this case makes him chuckle because if Haney wins, it could lead fighters to think twice about using performance-enhancing drugs, PEDs. While that might be a positive outcome for the sport and a significant victory for Haney, it also raises important questions about fairness and integrity in boxing. This case is going to be really interesting because if Devin Haney wins this case, I think it's going to really start to deter fighters more, and that is definitely needed from taking performance-enhancing drugs. With the lawsuit now filed, what does the future hold for Ryan Garcia? How will he respond to this situation? Please let me know in the comments below.